how do you expect people not to notice you doing such a thing? Because social media exists. There is no way to escape from art theft. People will eventually find out. You can't run from it. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven, and for today being a Sunday as usual, it is Figure News Fixed Day. We'll be taking a look at anime scale figures as well as third-party resin figures on pre-order, this time around between 28th of August all the way to 2nd of September 2023. This time around we have more genuine scale figures than third-party resins. And there are 2 or 3 different issues or topics I would love to discuss on the resin side of things later on for this week. Alright, so if you saw the title of this video, yeah, maybe you already know what the topic is about, but then that is for the resin section later on. Okay, firstly, we go into AmiAmi.com as usual. In the top 10 rankings above, in 4th place, we have that new Miku figure which was announced back in Wonder Festival and also once again showed to us in Megahobby Expo. She is now on pre-order and that is quite a great looking Miku figure, so not surprised at all that she is in top 10. In 7th place, from Berserk, we have a pop-up rate of Guts. In 8th place, Kanarima from Oshinoko. And in 10th place, another pop-up rate from Hellsing. Alright, not many high-quality scale figures made it into the top 10. Only 2 of them, in fact. On 2nd September, on Saturday, no scale figures. And then we move up to Friday. Surprisingly, this time around, this Friday, right, there are not many scale figures. More like the scale figures on pre-order are evenly distributed across the week for this week, including Monday. Yeah, normally Mondays are quite quiet, but not this week. The first one here now, the price difference on 2 different versions of this figure of Yun Yun by Kadokawa and KD Cole. It is quite extreme, and I'm not sure how Kadokawa expects to sell this special set for 24,750 yen, because the regular version, yeah, normally 22,550 yen, but now it is under 20k on discounts in AmiAmi if you pre-order early. So the price gap over here is more than 4,000 yen. Maybe to those of you who like limited edition stuff and you like to collect merchandise, you guys can justify it, but for me, I would settle with the standard version if I was going for this figure, right? Okay, so there was a Megumin figure of the same exact outfit that went on pre-order many weeks ago. Now we have Yun Yun, and I'm not sure if Kadokawa intends to make the same outfit in with other characters like Aqua. From what I'm seeing over here, it is very unlikely. I think this is based off that spin-off, This Is an Amazing Explosion World or something like that, right? The recent anime series. I can't get the title in my head anymore, but maybe that is based on that. So we are only getting Megumin and Yun Yun. For me, okay, how do I put it? I would still prefer Megumin in her traditional mage outfit over something like this, but it still looks nice, and not to mention there are not many scale figures of Yun Yun out there. So maybe pick one up if you really loved the Konosuba universe. The next one here, I do believe this is a re-release. I can't remember, but at the same time, this figure is really familiar to me. Could be a re-release. Now, this is by Kaitendo, a 1/7 scale Shell-tier Blood Fallen from Overlord. 18,300 yen, coming out in February, very soon. Yeah, I think this is a re-release. Very familiar figure, and this is not a very detailed figure, so it is no surprise that the price is not very high on this figure. Not to mention Kaitendo, yeah, second grade, third grade figure brand. Not to say their products are any bad, it can't get any worse than the likes of Beeful, okay? Or Force Japan. Their figures are okay, right? Average to above average, but don't expect too much. And I think you guys can already tell from these product photos anyway. If this figure is already out, go and check out the user photos and you have a rough idea what the figure looks like. The next figure here, this is a re-release and quite a surprise to me. Never in my wildest dreams I would have thought this figure would even stand a chance of getting a second chance, a second re-release, yeah. So this figure is by Orchid Seed, or that is what they are formerly known. Now they are called Tuberosa Plus, yeah. Maybe they changed boss or something, no idea, but the company name has changed. But Orchid Seed is a great figure brand. in case you guys are not familiar with them. Yuko Sagiri 1/7 skill from Tri-Age X, right? I actually watched the anime so long ago. I don't even remember what the anime was like anymore, but what I do remember is that it was partially action, partially fan service. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I liked the anime quite a bit, but it was too short, 12 episodes only. And this re-release over here, 16,000 yen only. If you liked the character design for any reason, even if you know nothing about her, go for one. This figure is fantastic, and the only reason why I did not purchase one back then was because of budget. Yeah, I was still a college student back then. I think this is the second recolor version. I don't remember anymore. There is the first version was actually black color. The first version was black color for her trousers and so on, but I do think this white version looks a lot better. Yeah. And of course, this figure is cast offable. 2 layers in fact. You can remove the jacket around her like this, and there is another option to display her topless. Yeah, I'm assuming a body swap because there is no way you can remove her bra when more like her tube top when it is squeezing against her boobs like that, right? You can see the curves over there. So this is a complete torso swap over here. So this figure, yeah, it is something I can highly recommend, even more so at 16,000 yen, especially if you are the kind who buys figures based on character design. You don't care whether you know the character or not, character background, yeah. And then up next, we have a couple of Figure Arts Zero. They are low budget scale figures, non-scale scale figures. Higher quality than pop-up rates, but nowhere near as good as dedicated actual scale figures, right? To me, I feel Figure Arts Zero was a good purchase maybe 5 years ago when they were 5 or 6,000 yen each. Nowadays, almost 9,000 yen each. I'm not sure if they are even justifiable anymore. These figures are not big. They are quite small figures, by the way. This one, we are looking at Ichigo Kurosaki, yeah, from Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, 8,900 yen. And for Figure Arts Zero, the size of the figure, yeah, 22 centimeters is not too bad actually. But you need to remember, 22 centimeters is all the way up to that very edge of his sword over there. So the figure is more like 15 or 16 centimeters head height. You need to remember that, right? The dimensions on the figures are really misleading at times, and I wish that all figure manufacturers will come out and state it clearly. Like, what is the head height of the figure? But this is normal practice apparently. 9,000 yen for this, can you justify it? Let me know down in the comments below. And the next one here, also from Bleach, yeah, we have Toshiro Hitsugaya. Of course, while these are low cost figures in some way, they are a lot more sophisticated looking than any average pop-up rate, right? So would you go for smaller figure yet better detail and a unique base like this one over here, or would you rather have a large figure but cheap at the same price? For some of you, size does matter, while the others, yeah, they prefer more details, more sophistication, pose and base, things like that over. For some of you, size matters, but for other people, yeah, they don't mind if the figure is smaller as long the craftsmanship level is there. So this is something subjective. Alright, now let's move up to 31st of August. That is Miku's birthday, right? Yeah, which is why that Miku figure is on pre-order on 31st of August. Alright, so there are quite a number of scale figures on this Thursday. The first one here, I have no idea who this is at all, but man, there is a lot of pink and bling all over the figure. Natori Sana, Birth of King Sana channel version. Since I see the word channel over there, I'm assuming this is a VTuber, okay? 1/7 scale by Max Factory. Ouch, 42,000 yen. That is very expensive, but I'm not surprised at all given the amount of level of detail and props are getting over here. I know that it is weird. Some people say that, why are you guys playing with dolls, playing with girls and figurines? You guys should be buying mecha stuff, right? Yeah, to normies, they find this weird, and even more so when we guys are buying figures like this, which is pink all over the place and screams very girlish. sometimes I do understand their points of view over here. And especially for figures like this, I certainly do appreciate the amount of detail and the sheer amount of props that are accompanying this figure. But I think this is a bit too much for me. Yeah, I don't hate pink color as a guy, alright? I have pink shirts myself, but this is a bit too much. The next one here, you see, I covered this figure in Megahobby Expo when Kadokawa showed us a painted sample, but I could not even recognize this is Himeji from Liar Liar. Yeah, I am watching the anime adaptation Liar Liar every week, and she looks nothing like this. Yeah, this is based on the light novel art, I understand that. And sometimes anime adaptations are completely different in art style. So apparently, this is a 1/7 scale Shirayuki Himeji from Liar Liar, and this is Kadokawa special set for 37,400 yen, which is seriously expensive for a 1/7 scale like this. And there is a normal version which is not that much cheaper at 36,300 yen. And unlike that Yun earlier, there is no discounts at all for this figure. The only assumption I can draw from this, from what I'm seeing over here, is that this is something popular enough that it will sell on its own, even if they don't discount it. Yeah, I'm just purely guessing over here. Now, I am a big fan of garter belts. Yeah, and that looks fantastic with that S over there. Yeah, that is really nice. I think only the hairstyle resembles the Himeji, I know, right? The face is completely different, but this figure is really nice. In the anime, yeah, she is really kind of loyal to her 7-star boss, but I don't see her acting like this. Nyan thing pose, I don't see her acting like this at all based on the impression I got about her personality and character in the anime. To me, it is kind of overpriced, don't you think? I feel this is very overpriced, but who knows, maybe the licensing is part of the problem over here. Next one here, re-release, we have Beatrice Tea Party version from ReZero by Kadokawa and KD Call. Now, if you missed out your first chance, this is a very good purchase because there are not many scale figures of Beatrice out there. And this one over here by Kadokawa is one of the better ones. Yeah, that face expression together with how she is enjoying herself with that cat over there, that kitten over there. This is the clincher. This is what that seals the deal for some of you, right? The face expression. At least it is not boring. Normally she can have quite an obnoxious attitude and she is not very friendly. But to get a character like her with this facial expression over here, I think this is a great buy for any ReZero fans. Now, the only ReZero figures I have are the oldest pair of Ram and Ram figures by Good Smile. Yeah, the original set. And that is all I'm going to buy. I'm not going to touch any other ReZero stuff. The next one here, okay, this figure actually turns out a lot cheaper than what I was expecting. I was expecting this to be 35k or so. So being surprised and proven wrong can be a good thing sometimes. Hatsune Miku Happy 16th Birthday version 1/7 scale by Good Smile Company. Yeah, on discount, 24,400 yen. That is a big 5,000 yen price cut, down from 29k. For Miku fans, at this price, 24,400, yeah, this is like a no-brainer. You will want to pre-order this. Now, the question here for all Miku figures is that, will the price drop even further after release? I don't think it is likely. You can score this figure for 20,000 yen, 21,000 yen easily after release. Because there are simply way too many Miku figures, right? And even if you miss out on one, you can always go for other options. Too many choices out there, so I don't see this one going up in price after release. It might do the exact opposite and bin. However, given that this is getting a 5,000 yen price cut from the get-go during pre-order period, I think pre-ordering one isn't a bad idea. Good Smile will definitely deliver. I don't remember them ever screwing up a Miku figure. At the same time, with this design over here, reminds me of Tiamat a bit from FGO. Yeah, that. If you saw the anime or played the game, you know what I'm referring to. The way the stuff behind her is being designed. Yeah. The next one here, we have a low-cost figure by Furyou. Tenitol series, we have Ichika complete. Why? Her full name is missing over there. We are only getting Ichika. What's her full name again? Ichika Nakano. Okay, so this one is 5,220 yen. Now, this is a really nice design for low-cost figure. In fact, this does not even look like a low-cost figure at all, if not for the smaller size of the figure. I assume that the other 4 sisters are going to get a very similar design and outfit with the same pose. And to me, this is a problem in the sense that if I'm collecting a set of figures, right, doesn't matter whether it is 5 of them, 10 of them in a set, right? If every single one of them have the same exact outfit and a very similar pose, I am not a fan of it because there is a lack of variety over there. But some of you figure collectors out there actually prefer that so much that you have a complete entire shelf dedicated for figures that look very similar. You like how everything looks very streamlined, and I do understand that, but I think I am the exact opposite of that. Yeah, I would love a shelf with characters from the same series, but with the same exact outfit and pose even, I think that is not very nice to look at for me at least, because I love variety when I'm looking at things, right? The next one here, we have Kana Arima 1/7 skill by Kotobukiya, just under 16,000 yen. Of course, this is a complete no-brainer for you guys who love Oshinoko so much. This is a must-have. Personally, I think this won't be the only figure of her. If you don't like this version for any reason other than pop-up parades, I do predict that Kadokawa and KD Cole might make a skill figure of her. Maybe even Furio, but I say Kadokawa would have a lot higher chance on this. The next figure here, I couldn't recognize her when she was displayed in Megahobby Expo, and it is no wonder because I know nothing about Kiseki series. This is like the 3rd or the 4th figure under this series. Emma Milstein 1/8 skill by Kotobukiya. This is not an Art FXJ series figure, but it is 1/8 somehow instead of 1/7. Sometimes I don't understand these figure brands. The product line is so inconsistent and it can be confusing, but I know that they are just following the scale of other characters under the very same series. Yeah, what is the dimension again? I said that this would be 40 centimeters. 32, okay. 32. Okay, 32 centimeters, of course, is including that stuff all the way to the top. This figure would likely be around 20 centimeters, 22 centimeters or so. Decent size still. And this one for under 19,000 yen, once again, Kotobukiya and their value offerings. It is not really that painful to your wallet if you are collecting the entire set, because each figure goes for under 20,000 yen and they all don't release within the same month. Up next, from Kotobukiya Art FXJ series, we have Yuzuriha 1/8 skill from Hell's Paradise Jigokuraku, 16,150 yen. Once again, no-brainer purchase, really. 16k, you're getting a 1/8 skill figure like this, which looks fabulous, and a unique base to boot. Until today, I still haven't brought myself to watch the anime adaptation yet. Yeah, same comment as last time when I talked about her briefly in Megahobby Expo. Reminds me of Akatsuki from Log Horizon, you know. I would love to have this figure. And if I were to buy a figure from Jigokuraku, there are 3 or 4 characters over here, I think I would buy only Yuzuriha and no one else. Yeah. Up next, okay, Transformers Bishoujo 1/7 scale Starscream by Kotobukiya, just under 16,000 yen as well. So this is for those of you collecting Bishoujo girls from the Transformers series. Now we saw 3 different color versions, right, in Megahobby Expo. This is obviously the default regular version, and the other 2 we'll see. At least one of them will be event exclusive, and the second color version, I have no idea what Kotobukiya is up to over here. And then the last 2 figures for this Thursday, yeah, we have Alucard L size from Hellsing OVA. Oh, I think there was a standard version of this figure, right, for 4,000 yen plus. Okay, so Hellsing, a classic old school anime. If you did not like the pop-up parade standard version because it was too small, now you're getting a slightly bigger version of him. And the same can be said, okay, this one over here. Berserk Guards. I don't think there is a standard pop-up rate of him at 4,000, 5,000 yen. I don't remember anymore. Now, once again, for those of you who are a fan of the series, for me, not so much. Okay, back to this page, we move up to Wednesday. That would be 30th August. Several skill figures here as well. Okay, the first one, we have Entoma Vasilisa Zeta, 1/7 skill from Overlord. 21,700 yen or so by Furio. Wow, Furio. What is up with you guys being so generous with your pricing this time? I was thinking this to be 27 to 30k, you know, when I found out this was Furio. 22k almost is, yeah, it is a good good price for this figure, and I believe I did mention it in One Fest coverage that I find the character design a bit creepy. Yeah, not my kind of thing with this figure over here. But 22k, and this is possibly the first skill figure of this character from Overlord, right? I don't remember other brands making it. 22k is not a bad price to pick one up if you liked her. The next figure over here, Girls and Panzer somehow is still alive after so many years. We see their figures being made once in a while. This series has their own fan base out there, right? They have been sticking around for a long time. I actually enjoyed the anime and the movie a lot. You need to cast aside everything you know about science and physics, of course. Doesn't apply to this anime, they can even drift their tanks, you know. This one is Gio Shimada from Orai Girls High, 1/7 skill. By Wave Corporation, almost 20,000 yen. This one I'm not too sure because for a simple 1/7 skill JK figure, yeah, schoolgirl outfit, 20k is expensive. Yeah, I wouldn't call it overpriced yet, but it is expensive. That is despite including a second faceplate. This one is 17k, 18k tops. That is what I think over here. The next one here, okay, from E-Stream and Shibuya Scramble figure under their Canterbury series. Okay, we have Sarasa Sanji non-skill from the anime Liar Liar ongoing series for just under 7,000 yen. This is a new product line by Shibuya Scramble figure. Canterbury is more like their version of Pop Operate. Low cost figures, but they are way bigger. This is 22 centimeters tall. So 7,000 yen for almost 1/8 scale is actually excellent value over here. And the same can be said for the other girl over here. Yeah, Shirayuki Himeji. Now this looks a lot more like what we saw in the anime. This is based on the anime art, by the way. Yeah, compare this with the other one by Kadokawa earlier. It looks like two different characters, right? That's the problem I have, you see. Anyways, I know that this is a low-cost skill figure, so I might be nitpicking over here. If there is one thing I don't like, it is those two straps over here, yeah, coming down from her shoulders all the way to her skirt. It looks like as if it is completely fused together with her white shirt when they are obviously separate parts. Like, it is not part of the white shirt of a uniform. They are separate, right? But they look fused together over here. I wish that the strap is a bit thicker. But then again, this is a low-cost sculpting. I'm just nitpicking, I know. And I would have never thought Shibuya Scramble figure would resort to making low-cost figures. Because in the past, they are quite proud of themselves for being a premium brand. Like, our figures are not cheap and the quantities we make are limited. And then they treat their customers like crap back then when quality control issues were being reported on some of their figures. Yeah. But to see them opening up to more options and offering figures at different price points is a nice thing to see nonetheless. And one more thing I don't quite understand over here is that half of the planet cannot buy this figure. You see, these products cannot be shipped to the following area, and there is a long list of countries. Presumably because in each of these countries over here, there is a local official distributor which is getting an exclusivity clause, exclusive contract to sell these products, and no one else can buy it from any other sources. That is my guess over here. And I have no idea why figure brands, not just figure brands, but in general, why people do this, because you are just limiting the number of products you are able to sell. Exclusivity is never a good thing. Even more so when it comes to regional ones where you limit one company to distribute only your product. Yeah, that is monopoly and that is not a good thing for consumers. And the last figure for Wednesday, from Link Cage Incarnation, we have Bai Yue Kui, 1/7 scale by Reverse Studio, Chinese brand, 33,440 yen. January 2025, wow! We are not yet in the fourth quarter of year 23. Now you're telling us this figure comes out in year 25. Yeah. If you like this character, maybe close one eye and hit the order button, because you won't be worrying about that money until year 25. Yeah, that is not a good mindset to have when it comes to collecting figures. If you keep thinking this figure will come 1 year later, and then you will neglect to save up when the thing comes out, eventually you don't have the money on hand and you're forced to cancel it. Don't have this kind of mindset, right? It is not a healthy one. Now this figure is, yeah, very detailed. I love it, but I have no idea what is Link Incarnation. I'm not sure at all whether this figure would come with another surprise plastic god to support the figure, because the figure is obviously leaning towards one side, right? But then again, maybe the rocks surrounding the figure is supporting it to some extent. I'm not too sure from these pictures. Or maybe the effect parts also act as an extra anchor point for the figure to prevent it from leaning. Yeah, that might be a possibility over here. Unlike Mega House, where they market their figures to be leaning 45 degrees to one side because of action pose, and then when you do get the figure, you get 3 extra plastic gods out of nowhere, which really ruins the figure. Okay, now we move up to 29th of August. More scale figures. Yeah. Excellent ones even. So I'm skipping that Phantasy Star Online 2 figure. That is just an image update. I covered it before. The first one here, my favorite scale figure for this week. Not surprised. I was already really attracted to her when I saw her in Megahobby Expo. Perseus Unfamiliar Deities version from Azur Lane at 1/7 scale by Outer, 29,000 yen. Unfamiliar Deities version, what is that supposed to mean? Might as well call her intern version if she is still unfamiliar with her new job. I would love to have this figure, seriously. There's something really nice about the character design over here. And that KFC right down there next to her, that is just a bonus. Yeah. I would love to have this figure. Maybe I would wait until after release before grabbing one for a small discount. I would totally buy this at 25,000 yen. Yeah. I may think 29k is reasonable, somewhat, but I think it could be lower than this, right? Because sitting pose figures, they are not very tall. They are not very big figures. Let's have a look at the dimensions over here. 21 centimeters. Yeah. The next figure here. This is kind of a unique 1/4 scale B-style by Freeing. Boss Sheepish Sapphire from Azur Lane and 1/4, 39,600 yen, coming out May 24. I would call this sniffing her hair because she used the wrong shampoo version. Yeah, the pose is not something we have seen from Freeing so far, and the thing that attracts me the most is the hair over here, the details on her hair. I wish that they don't mess up the paintwork. Like the gradient paintwork on those braids over there, yeah, they look fantastic over here. She is sniffing her hair because it smells wrong. Maybe she used Dettol disinfectant instead of shampoo or conditioner. Okay, this is a nice buy for Azur Lane fans, seriously. Not your typical bunny suit, you know. The next one here, this one is quite a major disappointment to me. This figure of Hitori Goto at 1/7 scale for 13,000 yen. Yes, I know 13k is very cheap, but I was hoping this would be a 1/6 because this is a very simple figure. Good Smile has a series of Essential Quintuplet sister figures going for 16k each also. And they are 1/6 scale. They are really tall, 27 centimeters or so. And they are not that much more expensive, right? So I was really hoping for this to be 1/6, especially when it is so simple. And the second thing is that this figure is coming out in October 2024. If Good Smile needs over a year to get a figure like this out in the market, maybe they should really re-evaluate what the hell they're doing, because they might be making way too many figures that they couldn't keep up. The production line just couldn't get it done on time. And that is before factoring in delays. I think it is too much to wait 1 year and 2 months or so for a figure like this. Up next, we have more pop-up rates. This time around, I from Oshinoko, 4,080 yen. Yeah, same comment from me. Wait for after release, don't pre-order pop-up rates. And next one, Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, you won't be in a hurry to grab a clown like this, right? So don't pre-order it. Next one, another pop-up rate, Maka Elban from Soul Eater, pop-up rate 4,080 yen as well. I did not watch Soul Eater, but I enjoyed the theme songs quite a bit. I love the theme songs. And then what else do we have? From the 7 Deadly Sins, Dragon's Judgment King, 4,080 yen. And also, this is XL size from the 7 Deadly Sins as well. Diane XL size, 24,650 yen. So would you pay almost 25k for a low cost 1x4 skill? Yeah. I wouldn't even call this a low cost 1x4 skill, seriously. 3-inks 1x4 were at this price just a few years ago. Yeah. Up next, also something we saw in Megahobby Expo, the Witcher Jiri 1x7 scale, 18,500 yen almost, coming out in March next year. So the male counterpart went on pre-order several weeks ago, which had a much better base. Now this one, the base is, well, depends on how you look at it, right? I personally don't believe the base would be this small. Maybe beneath this rock over here, there is another round plastic disc. That is what I'm predicting over here. Because if the base is so small, it needs to be very heavy, which I think is impossible unless they put some lead or metal inside. Yeah, they're going to need something extra to support the base over there. Or it is very easy to knock the figure over. I don't think this figure is a great purchase though. Up next, from Honor of Kings, yeah, Yao Divine Deer version 1x7 scale from Apex, 25,600 yen. Not my kind of figure, and yeah, Honor of Kings is a Chinese game title, right? A very popular one from what I heard. I think this deer-like creature is kind of a mystical character in Chinese folklore, if I'm not mistaken. 25,000 yen for something like this is actually quite reasonable. This figure, I mean the way they set up the figure, right? Once again, the base would have to be really heavy so that it is not easy to knock the figure over. I'm just appreciating the details over here because I won't buy the figure. Not my kind of thing. Apex Toys, what else can I say more? If you want to know what the figures are like, just check out my reviews on their Genshin figures. They make excellent figures. The next one here, Daiki Kogyo is taking a playbook off from Q6 and A+. When it comes to Giant or Pi Giant or Shiri figures, why are they even making this? G original illustration, Pink Hair Chan 1x5.5 for 24,000 yen. Yeah, that is great value, of course. But to me, this figure right here, yeah, this is what the figure looks like. I have no idea why people like figures like this. Moving up to the next figure. Okay, the next 4 or 5 figures, they are from Monday. Okay, this one over here, Lisa illustrated by Bei C, 1x6 scale by Bocchi. Another new brand. 31,300 yen. Yeah, this is premium 1x6 scale territory, similar to how Native prices their figures. 30 centimeters, okay. I wanted to call the figure expensive, but 31 cm, yeah, fair enough. This has to be the 3,000th Bunny figure of the year so far. There are so many of them. This one is not bunny suit, more like, yeah, Chinese dress somehow. And I'm assuming this figure is cast-offable, right? Yes, this is certainly cast-offable. I'm not going to scroll any further. Doesn't appeal to me that much. And there's a slightly more expensive version here. Deluxe edition, 33,400 yen. And you get a wall scroll, I'm assuming. Yeah, a wall scroll, 30 by 50 centimeters. Quite a big one even. The next one here, yeah, this is also from Megahobby Expo. Yup. I'm not going to read that. I'll just call this Kinako. By Golden Head plus 8,000 yen. Yeah. This is the second figure of Kinako from Golden Head Plus at the same price. Pretty adorable, but this is a small figure, 15 centimeters, including that gift box over there, so the figure is no bigger than an Android, really. So 8,000 yen is actually not cheap at all, yeah. And here we have a slightly more expensive version where you are getting acrylic keychain. Okay, that is not bad. Additional 300-400 yen, you get a keychain. Maybe go for this one. Up next, Gurudo Eve Body Harness version, or EV, I think it's pronounced as EV, right? 1x6 scale by Pink Charm, 26,000 yen. Okay, this one appeals to me a lot more compared to that other figure earlier by Doki Bocchi. Yeah, I love the character design on this. For some reason, I think it has to be the colors, that pink, magenta hair over there, and of course, this is going to be customable because it is Pink Charm, right? Pink Charm is like a branch of native. Yeah, 25.5 centimeters. So this is more like 1x7 scale despite being 1x6 because this is a lolly character, but Next one here, okay, this may be a bunny figure, but this one looks really nice for some reason. Momoko Art Collection, Arietta Bunny-chan illustration by Momoko, 1x7 scale. This is made by Nocturnus, another new name for me, 24,550 yen. Yeah, more or less the pricing for 1x7 scale nowadays. And yeah, this is of course also customable. More like part swapping, right? You can, this part over here around her chest, you can swap it out with another pair of opals that are exposed, and that is about it. You can't exactly strip her down 100% nude. Also, I really wish that the stockings on her leg are real fabric. I can't really tell from these pictures, so I can't really comment too much, unfortunately. If Alter could do 1x7 scale bunny figures like the Scarhawk Usagi version with stockings and 1x7, I am expecting every figure brand to do the same, yeah. And the last genuine scale figure on Ami for this week, okay, Fox Spirit Matchmaker Hong Hong Tushan, Tosan Koko Xian Yun, whatever. As long we don't know what sounds it is in Chinese, you know, in Chinese, every single spelling has 4 different sounds, 4 different ways to pronounce the same spelling. Yeah, as long I don't know that, I can't pronounce it properly. 6,000 yen chibi figure, and I know nothing about her. Yuan Goods, I think I've seen this name like once or twice in the past, but they are still very new. I have no clue what I'm looking at over here. Now we shall move on to niningame.com for a few listings that are not available on Ami, maybe because they are buried somewhere in the X-rated section, or they just don't want to sell those figures. For example, those figures made by Beeful and Forge Japan. They are done dealing with all the complaints of figure breakage, you know. So they are on niningame.com as usual. These Nikan Shoujo figures like this elf over here, go and check it out yourself. I'm not putting it on screen, too X-rated. So the first figure over here now, I wasn't even aware this figure even existed. So we have Takarada Rika at 1x6 scale revival version by Beeful and Forge Japan. 2 different scales, 19,000 yen for the 1x6 scale and 1x4, 29,000 yen. Yeah, I'm aware that these 2 girls from Double SS Gridman are extremely popular, but I wasn't aware that Forge Japan and Beeful used to make their figures. Can I recommend them? No, not at all. Never did. However, I don't think that 1x4 scales of these 2 characters even exist, not even the B style by Freeing. So regardless of what I have to say about Forge Japan and Beeful, they are still going to sell a lot of these 2 girls over here, these 2 figures, in Japan especially, yeah. And yeah, here is the next one, Shinjo Akane, 1x4 scale, 29k, or at 1x6 scale, 19k. Very simple figures, nothing much going on. And then the Japanese would be queuing up to buy them, yeah. Their figures break very easily, just as the warning over here on the front page, on the product listing of every single Beeful and Insight figure listings they put over here. So if you still decide to proceed and pre-order one of these, yeah, I won't stop you, but just that if you are unfamiliar with this brand, this is something you need to know. Their figures break very easily. Yeah. I suppose that isn't too different from third-party resin figures. Resin in general, they tend to break very easily. Yeah. The next one here, Creators Selection, Original Character Kurumi, 1x4 scale by Binding and Native. Wow, this is expensive for a 1x4. Bunny Girl. This is still Bunny Girl to me. 48,500 yen, coming out in June next year. I have no idea what is so special about this figure to warrant the pricing over here. The next figure over here, we have Shibuya Scramble figure and E-Stream 1x7 scale Gensou no Minarai Madoshi from Yu-Gi-Oh! At 1x7, $234 As usual, Ninin game doesn't let me convert to yen, the site is bugging out. But 234 USD should be at least 33,000 yen. I'm just roughly converting in my mind over here. As usual, E-Stream and their love for effect parts. This one looks a bit like cotton candy in some way, but if you can overlook the base or you like the base, I think as an entire package, 33,000 yen, assuming that is the price, is quite reasonable. And boy, I love the details on her armor right there. The next one here, this is my favorite 1x4 scale this week. And yeah, before that, we take a look at the name Sakuko. Okay. At 1x4 scale by Hot Venus and Native, 36,400 yen for the standard one, or you can get the Tapestry set edition for 39,900 yen. Yeah, 40k. Alright. To me, right, other than the details on the figure in general, the face is always what that makes the difference. You see, you compare the figure over here and the artwork it is based on, it almost feels like the figure looks even better than the original art, and that is always a good thing. Yeah. In fact, if you just go back and forth between the art and the actual figure, I feel like the figure actually looks more detailed with the sculpting and the lines compared to the artwork over here. 40,000 yen, once again, this is 1x4. Yeah. I would love to have this figure, seriously, and because she is in this sitting position, which normally I'm not a fan of for 1x7 scale because the figure would be too small. At 1x4, I suppose sitting pose is still okay, right? Because the box won't be too big later on. And the last figure on niningame.com, the last genuine figure from Prisma Wing, we have Shadow House, Kate and Emily Ko. This is under Prem 1 Studio, of course. Prisma Wing is the PVC figure branch of Prem 1 Studio, which makes high-end resin figures, right? 124,000 Japanese yen. That is after discount down from 150, which I am totally not surprised at all. You're getting two figures in this suspended floating pose over here, and together with that prop behind. Is 124k overpriced? Yeah, sort of. I don't see this being more than 100k to be exact. But at the same time, we are talking about Prem 1 Studio over here. It's like we have naturally come to expect their prices to be ridiculous in the first place, right? One thing I don't quite understand about what they are thinking is that Shadow House, in a way, is a seasonal anime, and to see a figure brand put in so much effort into figures from a seasonal anime instead from a very trending game, you know, that has been popular for the last few years, it does sound like a bad move from a business standpoint. But then again, I don't know how popular Shadow's House is. I've heard very favorable reviews from YouTubers and from those in the anime world, you know, but specifically in Japan, like how popular it is, of course, I have no clue at all. The fact that they bothered to make such a high-end figure, there has to be more to this story than what I know currently. Yeah. Now, the reason why this isn't on Ami is probably the same case as that Shibuya Scramble figure earlier. I think niningame.com is just taking pre-orders earlier. The actual figure will only go on pre-order officially maybe next week, who knows, right? And that is all for genuine anime scale figures on pre-order this week. We move on to third-party resin figures, which are lesser in number compared to the genuine ones for this week. For the website, which I normally use to cover resin figure news, they are currently going through a maintenance as well as a website upgrade. So the newest pre-orders section for OzGK, yeah, it is actually quite a mess at the moment. If you take a look at their website, yeah, there is a notice for customers. Go and read it if you are a customer of this website. And then you'll see the trend recommendation section on top and the newest pre-order section below. Yeah, it is quite a mess. Not to mention, the items are actually not arranged in proper order. Fortunately, I also run a figure page on Facebook, so I have a record on every single resin figure, well, almost every single one of them that were on pre-order this week. I'm able to make this video, otherwise it would be a complete nightmare trying to trace down every single new resin figure that went on pre-order this week. As usual, for every single resin figure I'm about to cover, there will be an affiliate pre-order link down in the descriptions below if you are interested in any of them, though with the exception of one single figure I'm about to cover soon. There is no affiliate link for it because, yeah, I do not support what happened to that figure. We'll get to it in a moment. So for the first resin figure on pre-order this week, we have Xianbei Studio Ting Yun The Relaxing Holiday from Honkai Star Rail. Okay, this one, the normal version is going for $129 and the version B, a nude version, $172, right? Which means, yeah, you can't normally cast off this figure. This is still a very early bird pre-order. There is only one single picture over here. And yeah, I can easily tell based on the way the bikini is being designed over here, yeah, you can't remove it. And to me, that is not really an issue. I know some of you buy third party because you want the loot options for that figure, but for me, that is completely optional, right? Definitely not the best figure of Ting Yun I've seen so far, but at the same time, not too bad looking either. The next one here, okay, this figure must have been on pre-order for some time, but due to the mess with the website, it must have been pushed up to the front page. Or perhaps this is a different version. Yuguang Cultural Creative Design Studio, Ronoa Zoro and Nico Robin. Standard version $325, which is very reasonable given that there are two figures over here. High-end version, yeah, $487, and then there is a bust figure for 79 bucks. Okay, I'll just ignore the bust figure over here. Yeah, I do remember covering this figure over here. This went on pre-order a while ago, and to me this is a very unique figure, even for the standards of One Piece where there are way too many figures from this anime. Yeah, I can highly recommend it. I mean, this pose and the way the hero is carrying the heroine in one single figure, not something you see very often. At 1/6 scale, actually the price is very reasonable considering the package you're getting. The next figure over here, this is definitely the main star of the week. For all the wrong reasons, this is the most controversial figure, and I am not including any affiliate pre-order links in my in the description below, because this figure of Satono Diamond from Uma Musume by so-called Beast Studio, this is a product of stolen artwork. So I can't recommend you guys buying this at all. Please don't, no matter how much you like what you're looking at over here. I was being informed about this on my Facebook page. As usual, I'm very grateful for you guys updating me because I am not active on Twitter or X, right? And most of the Japanese, yeah, they post their stuff on Twitter. That is the site they use the most. Like, you know, this Twitter blue nonsense where you have to pay a monthly subscription fee just to get your post noticed by others because there is a 600 post limit or something like that. Yeah, there is no way I agree with Elon with such a principle, with such a rule over here. So I'm not very active on Twitter and I don't plan to until they change their policies. Okay, so I'm going to bring up this post, Twitter post or X post right here. Yeah. So as you can see, a swimsuit Dia-chan that I drew was created and sold as a figure without anyone's permission by this guy called Kenrod Uma. Yeah. Okay, this is the first problem over here. This is a product of stolen art there, and there is no way I can condone this act. There's no way I can support something like this. And the second problem over here has to do with the license holder of this Uma Musume franchise over here. Assuming the artist over here reaches a deal with any other figure brand out there, like you can license my artwork to be made into a figure or any other form of merchandise, it is going to be a problem because CY Games and Bandai, they hold the rights to Uma Musume, and they are the kind of company which is very strict on these things, right? Just like Ultraman, for example. Ultraman is another one of those franchises you don't want to mess with. They don't even allow you to cosplay as Ultraman characters in anime conventions. You'll get into trouble. And the same can be said for Uma Musume merchandises. I mean, if you draw your own art on Uma Musume characters and for any reason you want to convert it into an actual merchandise, yeah, you're going to run into trouble with CY Games. They might send you a cease and desist letter. They might give you a knock on your door and even start a lawsuit. Things like that can happen, right? So Uma Musume is something you shouldn't mess with. You see, this is the one thing I don't understand about the very act of stealing other people's artwork. Even more so for making figures out of it and profiting from it, right? How do you expect people not to notice you doing such a thing? Because social media exists. There is Facebook, there is X or Twitter, there is Instagram, and so on. And when you do things like this and blatantly rip off other people's artwork, and then you post it on your very own page shamelessly and promote it as your own product, how can you expect people not to notice it? Because it is just a matter of time before people finds out, and all your reputation as a figure brand is gone forever. Maybe they expected to sell this figure only in mainland China and nowhere else, so they don't care. Or the figure brand, this Beast studio over here, will be changing name every other month, changing to some other studio name, and then they expect people not to notice it, and then they'll continue the activities all over again. Maybe that is what they are doing. They are changing the company name, the brand name every few months, but there is no way to escape from art theft. People will eventually find out. You can't run from it. And yeah, don't buy this figure. Please don't. The next one here from SGD Studio, Singapore Dollar Studio. Okay, Final Fantasy VII Tifa. This is a 1/3 scale and going for $964 US. Okay, so basically a Dolphy, a BJD, something like that. This is 73 centimeters and apparently globally limited to only almost 2,000 units. I'm not sure how many they are going to sell, but 2,000 isn't a lot. And if you want one, yeah, better place a pre-order, because once this thing sells out, the value is going to go right up through the moon. Yeah, it is going to be really expensive. And of course, we need more pictures, but basically you can treat this like more of a Dolphy at 1/3 scale. The next one here from Anonymous Studio, we have Justice Robin from One Piece. Okay, doesn't really look like her that much, but anyways, the Ultimate Edition at 1/6 scale, $194 US, Deluxe Edition 382, which includes a nude body option, and then yeah, you can get it at 1/4 scale as well, 382 for the standard one, and the deluxe one 537. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the pictures over here. To me, this is just not an ordinary plain figure, which looks a bit like an office girl outfit to me. Yeah, office outfit. And this is not exactly very attractive in... Oh, okay. So you are getting two different head sculpts, a realistic one and the anime one. Now it makes sense. Now that is why I said it does not look like her that much. At the same time, yeah, this is just a plain black dress. Looks a bit like an office outfit. I'm not sure if it is worth it. Like, go for something that reflects the character a bit more, you know. The next one here from Waku Waku Studio, they exclusively make Anya figures for some reason. Spy Family and Beach Anya, alright. $99 US at 19 centimeters, 1/6 scale is actually, yeah, not bad. Not a bad price at all. Of course, we're only getting one single picture over here, but the detail on that straw hat is amazing. Yeah. Of course, to me, if this was a PVC figure and you're telling me this thing is 20 centimeters and you're asking 100 US dollars, I think it is on the expensive side of things. But considering this is resin, yeah, resin is a more expensive material, I think the price is just right over here. The next one here, very early bird pre-order. We don't have an official price yet. 59 US dollars and S Plus 79. That is quite hard to believe, the price point. Babyface Studio Boa Hancock from One Piece Buff Collection. This is probably a small figure, right? Yeah, no 1/6 scale but no dimensions, but we don't know what the figure looks like yet. This for 80 US dollars. If this is real price, man, that is quite a steal at 1/6 scale. The next one here, okay, this is a 1/6 scale action figure. Seamless action figure. You can't see the joint lines. I love them. From Naoki Studio, we have Hyuga Hinata from Naruto. Standard edition 190 US dollars, deluxe edition 245, which is actually very reasonable. Now let's have a look at the pictures over here. Yeah, the figure looks amazing actually. This is realistic face, I think. Realistic face, and then the outfit is in fabric, as is the case with most 1/6 scale action figures. This is basically 1/7 scale PVC figure pricing, but you're getting a 1/6 scale action figure. Seamless joints, very nice. I would say this is one of the better values this week. Yep. The next one here, okay, so this week we have a lot of weird figures, more coming soon, and I really have to be careful with how I do my coverage over here because I might get restricted by YouTube. Already happened to one of my Figure News Fix videos from many weeks ago, right? I'm just too lazy to try to dispute it because it is just a small restriction, not really a ban, and there are no penalties, so whatever, it was in the past already. From Overwatch Studio. So Overwatch Studio is making Genshin stuff over here. Festival activities at the shrine, Aether and Yaemiko. No price yet, only 100 US dollars, and this is an artwork of what we'll get in the actual figure. So Yaemiko is giving Aether a BJ over here. From the looks of it, a hand job and a BJ. We'll wait and see what the final product is like. Yeah, but the next one here, another weird figure. Starry Sky Studio Genshin Impact Ganyu Coconut Ship Ranch. Okay, so this one, 241 US dollars for Type A, and then Type B, black color, 250 US dollars. Okay, so there is a very similar figure, presumably by the same brand. A similar figure, which is Marin Kitagawa. Yeah, if you search in Google, Marin Kitagawa resin figure, and then you write there capsule machine, you'll find the pictures. Yeah. So once again, I have no clue why things like this exist, but given that posts like this are off the charts on my Facebook page, very popular, yeah, apparently there are people out there who want figures like this, which is why they exist in the first place. I'm not going to scroll through the picture because it would be a pain to censor them. And then the next one over here from Zaonie and Jaohua Studio, we have Kanroji Mitsui from Demon Slayer. Now the full price for the regular wear version, which is what you're looking at over here, 321 US dollars at 1/6 scale. Yukata style over here is 283. Yeah, a bit more fan service, and you're getting that Little Mermaid demon over there for 283, and then deluxe double pendulum version, which basically means you're getting parts for both version, 519 US dollars. Yeah, which is actually not a bad price considering you're getting a very complex base over here, a diorama base. I think there is another different version of Mitsui Kanroji by a third-party brand, which I would prefer a bit better. I would like a bit more, but this one is not bad at all. This is possibly right up there, top 3 best resin figure of Mitsui Kanroji. Personally, I would prefer the regular outfit version on the left, but with the base on the right. So for someone like me, if I wanted a figure like this, yeah, I would need to buy the expensive deluxe version, which includes both over here. But this is quite a nice figure of her, really. The next one here, let me repeat the meme we see a lot on social media, on Facebook and so on. Mom, they're making weird shit again. That is the best way I would describe this figure of Hotao over here by Maruko Studio. So the 1x4 scale deluxe version is $359 US, which is, yeah, quite reasonable, quite affordable. And the 1x7 scale version only $151 US. So Hotao is licking the ghost she commands. Now this would be a perfect figure to buy during the Hungry Ghost Festival month. Yeah. We need more pictures from different angles. We need more pictures. Will you buy something like this? Let me know down in the comments below. The next one here, okay, this is only a 3D render. We don't have pictures of the actual product yet. From Big Cute Studio, we have Sango no Miya Kokomi from Genshin Impact. This one is going for $79 US only. And apparently this figure is between 16, yeah, it's about 16 centimeters. So this won't be a big figure. $80, yeah, I would say it is reasonable, but I want to see the actual product, not a goddamn 3D render, man. Up next, this is possibly one of the best looking resin figures this week from X-Pic Studio and ACY Studio. Implacable from Azur Lane. Alright, so the standard version is $593 US, EX version 674. 1x4 scale, of course. Right, so we go through a few pictures over here. Now this is a massive figure, of course. This is going to be huge. There we go, 56 centimeters, but 56 is not that much bigger than that Lancer Ultra Pendragon figure by E-Stream. Not that much bigger. Alright. So of course this is car stoppable, but presumably you'll need to go for the deluxe version to get those option parts, right? The face is quite nice. This is an anime style face and I really prefer it that way. Yeah, not really a fan of those realistic interpretations. The next one here, this one doesn't really look that good. Misaka Mikoto Coffee Time by Si Yuan Guangxiang Studio. Okay, from that Railgun series anime, which I love so much. $142 US, and I'm not sure why this figure brand even bothered to make a figure of Misaka Mikoto, because there are so many excellent genuine scale PVC figures of her out there. Some of them are not exactly that rare. You just need to put in a bit more effort in hunting for them. So this one over here I can't really recommend at all, and this is a 1x8 scale. They did not mention the scale, but apparently the figure is 24 centimeters, and I assume that is including that door over here. So this figure is only 1x8 scale at best. At $142 USD, you are better off buying a genuine scale figure like the one made by Kotobukiya. The price is very similar. Yeah. Up next, from Pink Bear Studio, we have Imbibita Lunae from Honkai Star Rail, Standard Edition $304 US, and Deluxe version $361. Yeah, which you're getting a nude option with that giant cannon down there. Alright, so we take a look at some of the pictures over here. As usual, normally I don't cover figures of dude of male characters, but hey, Honkai Star Rail, one of the hottest games today, right next to Genshin Impact. So I suppose I could give him some attention. And yeah, this figure, the sculpting at least looks amazing. I'm saying this as someone who does not really buy male character figures. Yeah, this looks fabulous for anyone who likes Imbibita, and $361 for the deluxe version and 1x6 scale is actually not too bad at all. Yep, 1x6 scale. Up next, okay, this is one of the nicer looking, better looking third party resin figures of Miku I've seen, but of course they like to inflate their bust size. Miku's Oppai is not that big actually. Art of Eden Studio, Vocaloid Hatsune Miku, Standard Edition $475 US, and Deluxe Edition $487. Okay, so the difference is only a few extra stuff in the box, nothing to do with nude parts, you know, they're giving you extra accessories, I think. This figure is customable, even if you go for the standard version, yeah. Now, the face sculpt on this figure is actually quite nice. Yeah, realistic interpretation of course, but doesn't look too bad at all. The next one here, okay, this is another head scratcher to me. I don't know why this exists. Perhaps there is a market for it. This 1x3 scale seamless doll of Ganyu from Yujai Racing Studio, $422. Yeah, this is a lot cheaper than a Dolphy or a BJD. But the problem is, I don't think Ganyu's bust size is that big. And the second problem is, yeah, the face does not really look like Ganyu at all. As you can see, yeah, this is an action figure of some sort and more of a doll. A 1x3 scale doll, by the way. I'm not sure at all because this Ganyu looks terrible. The face looks terrible. All that is going for this Ganyu figure is the size at 65 centimeters. Yeah, 1x3 scale. I know this is very cheap for a 1x3 scale doll, but I don't think I can recommend this at all. I would rather you spend your hard-earned money on something higher quality. Yeah. Up next, another weird figure for this week. So we have 4 characters from Genshin Impact having a foursome. I don't have an LGBT flag with me over here. I would be waving my flag over here for this figure. Okay, so the full price for this would be $490 at 1x6 scale, yeah, which is really cheap when you're getting 4 figures over here. Basically, this is Human Centipede Genshin Impact Edition. And once again, stuff like this exists because people actually buy them. So this is indeed a week of weird stuff coming from third-party resin figures. And the last resin figure for this week, okay, this figure of Rosaline Stout is supposed to be part of last week's Figure News Fix, but because the website posted the listing late and I missed it, so I'm including her in this week's news. From Dodomo Studio, they are quite famous by now. Okay, we have Rosaline Stout from Atelier Ryza at 1x6 scale, $229. Now, Dodomo Studio really has a way of making very interesting, very attractive sculpts of popular anime and game characters, and I really hope they do deliver. Now, this may not be the best Ryza figure, very subjective. I think she looks fine, and as you can see, they really put a lot of effort into her hips and her thighs over there. Yeah. Overall, if you were to say you want to pre-order this right now after seeing the pictures, I won't blame you at all. This is a very attractive figure of Ryza, and of course, she is going to be cast-offable. I think there are no pictures over here. But even if the figure is not cast-offable, I would say that is not an issue at all, right? This is a really good buy, and please, Dodomo Studio, I know I'm repeating this joke too much. Please don't mess up her face, especially the eyes. Yeah, this is an amazing figure of Ryza, seriously. And that concludes the third-party resin figure news for this week. Yeah, as you can see, not too many. So this week is a very controversial one. We have so many weird fetish type third-party resin figures. But putting that aside, this art theft issue, yeah, it is quite prevalent and really difficult to detect. Most of the time, I won't even notice it until someone shares the news with me online, especially in Twitter, because the Japanese use Twitter. For me, not so much. My Twitter does exist, but not very active. Yeah. So, which figure will you pre-order this week? Let me know down in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. And until then, if you enjoyed this video today, please do give this video a thumbs up and do subscribe to this channel for more anime figure news as well as reviews on this channel. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.